So I want to take this opportunity. I'm going to introduce our first session. Michael Lacorazza is the Director of Advertising and Brand Management with TD Ameritrade. He's going to discuss content consumption and engagement metrics that have led TD Ameritrade to double-digit growth in consumer adoption and acquisition. Please join me in welcoming Michael to the stage.
Good morning, guys. I have to admit that I had a little bit of a moment when I first arrived when one of my colleagues said, deadpan, I'm really excited to hear about your pitch for terrestrial radio today. And I thought, oh shit, did I get this wrong? No, so seriously, thank you to IAB for having me here today. It's a great venue, amazing organization, and I can tell that this is an audience that is quite engaged in this space, not shy at all. So I'd like to start with a little bit of mobile trivia. And question is, you guys have all heard this term, well, this year is going to be the year of mobile, right? It's the year of mobile. It never seemed to be. So the question for the audience is, when was the year of mobile? So it's kind of hard to see, but I'll do it by a show of hands. Who says the year of mobile hasn't happened yet? We're still waiting for that mobile messiah. Okay, got some takers there. Who says 2010? 2009? Anybody vote for 2004? No braves. One person, okay. So the correct answer is 2004, because that's when TD Ameritrade was first to enable trading on a mobile device through our .mobi site. So that was the year of mobile. A lollipop. So anyway, so being a company that is really digital at the core and having an audience that's truly living mobile lives, we've been playing in this space for a while, been thinking about it, and kind of growing up in it. And so that sounds great, right? So I have this, the title of my presentation was The Classy Problem. So what's the classy problem? Well, it's simply this. Our customers are really engaged in mobile, and they're transacting with us, meaning they're trading on our mobile applications and our mobile site, not just checking out their stocks. And it's growing incredibly fast. But at the same time, our business conversion performance in mobile does not rival that of the desktop historically. So, and the way we define conversion performance success for us is three things. One, it's efficiently acquiring high-quality new brokerage accounts into the firm. Second, it's about sampling opportunities, so downloading one of the applications on the different mobile devices. And three, the kind of standard engagement metrics that you see in advertising, like clicks and views and video views and those kinds of things that give you a sense of how much engagement there is around the creative itself. So in addition to that lagging performance, we've been struggling with, in some sectors of our investment around measurement, and how can we really understand what the efficacy is of the investments that we're making. So let me start with the first part of it and give you some data points on where we're seeing success. Last year, we launched a new suite of mobile trading applications across the 4 major platforms. And as you can see from this curve, the adoption rates are unbelievable. And these bars are not just people downloading the application. These are actually people using the application for the first time. We don't publish these data publicly, but what I can tell you is that they're in the several hundreds of thousands of users and growing double digits all the time. So it's really just taken off for us, exploded. Second, they're not just downloading the app and checking their portfolio and doing a little research. They're actually trading with us. And for us as a firm, half of our income is from trading revenue. So trading is really important. And now that our customers are mobile and they're engaging with us in this space, this is really the place to be for us, and we think the future of our business as well. So that sounds great, right? You're doing great in mobile. You don't need to do anything. You just sit back and ride the wave. So what's the problem? Well, what we found is that for us, we live and die by acquisition performance. And as I said before, we weren't seeing the same lift in performance or growth in performance in our mobile investments as we were in the desktop. So, for example, what we found was, we started with search, was that 25% of all of our branded searches, so somebody goes to Google or Yahoo Bing and types in Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade, and then comes to our site, 25% of all those impressions were being served on a mobile device. It's amazing. It's staggering, which is up 5-fold from 2 years ago. So it's grown 500% in 2 years, out of control. At the same time, we weren't seeing the same lift in conversion that correlated with that in mobile search. And that was kind of a conundrum for us. So we actually tore it all down, built it back up, and made about a dozen optimizations in search. And I just want to share one of them with you because it was really simple, but it was staring at us right in the face. And once we figured it out, it was cool. But it seems obvious when I'll share it. But at the time, it was kind of puzzling. So historically, the way we map the customer journey in mobile was very much like we do on the desktop. So customer sees mobile ad. Customer goes to mobile-enabled landing page where we ask them to either download an application to sample our product or to open an account. And we were just seeing too much drop-off here, and it wasn't working at all. And so we said, well, wait a minute. Historically, it's been difficult to get through the process of opening an account on a mobile device for a brokerage firm. You can imagine all the personal information that you have to provide, and we have to score you for your risk and what kind of a customer you are and your size of your portfolio. And so there are a lot of questions that you have to answer. So we said, well, if someone is motivated enough to click the open account link in our search ad, why not just send them right into the application to open an account for us, right into the form? And so we put that into market with a little bit of an experiment, and it was amazingly successful. So it led to a 90% increase in new accounts coming through that channel and at a 38% reduction in CPA, which was just gangbusters for us. So as soon as we put it into market, it took off, and within 3 or 4 days, we were like, okay, we're doing all in. This is the new model for us. So let's turn to another issue related to measurement. As any advertiser knows, and probably everybody else here does as well, when you have a customer who's visiting, say, a mobile display ad, and you're dropping them off into the App Store at Apple, you have a break in the link of the chain because you're not able to correlate that conversion from your impression or from your click through the Apple Store download. It's like this sort of vacuum. And Apple either is unwilling or unable to truly cooperate with advertisers and the firms in order for us to understand that. So we've been kind of puzzled by this because if one of our success metrics is downloads, then we want to know what's working and what's not working. So I'm going to share something with you that didn't work, but we thought it was absolutely brilliant, and it didn't turn out to be. So what we did was we said, okay, customer sees the ad, right? And you pixel them, so you can sort of track them. We said, what if we just sort of bypass the Apple Store because they're not going to be cooperative, right? $1 million and all. And we put a tracking pixel that was the conversion event pixel inside of our own application. So the theory is when the customer uses our application for the first time, that pixel would fire, then correlate back to the pixel that we dropped on the creative. And we thought we had found the Apple workaround holy grail. And we tested it, and it worked some of the time, but not all the time. So we were scratching our heads and had to go to sort of a plan B. But we were really excited at the moment. We thought we solved this, and boy, we're going to get published by the IAB. So the workaround for us was a little messier and probably a little more complicated. So let me just try and get through it. What we were seeing as we kind of peeled apart, we said, well, what are all the data points that we have? And what are all the points in the chain where we touch the customer, where we get sort of a blip or a hand or whatever, or a click or a download or a first-time usage? And do they relate to each other in any way? And what we saw was that there were definitely some correlations to exposure to the ads, clicks, getting to our landing page, total downloads from the iTunes store, and then starts on the back end. But we weren't really certain what we were doing from a media perspective was driving this, because we had a lot of other things in market going on, such as email to our clients and just sort of the natural demand and things in social forums talking about our apps. And so we said what we need is a baseline. So we just kind of paused everything for a while, let it all settle down to try and get this sort of natural correlation between all these events. And we got to a point where we thought, here are the pretty good sort of correlations between all these different events. And then we did one other thing where we added a conversion pixel on our site, which links to the iTunes store, which before the metric that we were pulling from that was just an omniture tag. So it wasn't even part of that complete loop. It was even sort of a separate data point. And what we found was we were able to pretty significantly correlate back our media investment and that exposure to the ultimate goal of not necessarily the download, but the first trial, which was actually more important for us than the customer actually downloading the app. So this is the model that we have in place now. It's definitely not perfect. And hey, if you guys have any suggestions for a better way to do it, we're all ears. I'm sure there are some smarter people in the room than us that have figured this out. And so the net is that, with mobile and measurement is that it's definitely not a perfect ecosystem as of yet. But we're seeing some things in technology, the advent of third-party ad servers that can cross the space, machine IDs, and maybe even someday connecting the dots between the consumer's consumption and behavior off the mobile device that's impacted by the mobile device. And it's not there yet, but we're really encouraged that it will be. So, in conclusion, I just wanted to show you or two things. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's next for us in the immediate future. Outside of measurement, we're just sort of monitoring that and looking for opportunities to be better. But in terms of mobile advertising investments, we're doing some custom audience targeting experiments with companies like Millennial Media and others. And we're also really excited by the technology that's brought the ability to deliver sight, sound, and motion through caching. So if you think about it, in the last couple of years, if you wanted to run video on a mobile device, a lot of times it was through some sort of a streaming mechanism, which is really unreliable. I mean, can you imagine like standing in Times Square trying to watch a video on your phone? I mean, good luck, right? So since now what happens is the video downloads into the app that you're advertising on, so it's already on the customer's device. So when they go to watch your video, it's already there and it's seamless and it's just part of that natural experience. So it gives us an opportunity to go a little bit deeper in content delivery, in engagement around our brand, in educating investors, things that you can do with sight, sound, and motion that you can't just do with a static or an animated banner. And then finally, I just wanted to show you a little video, which is just a demo of our iPad app. It's a really sophisticated piece of software, even for a tablet. It's not for everybody. It's for super experienced traders, but it's a kind of neat little thing. And there's really nothing that's comparable in the business today. And then I think we have a little bit extra time, so if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them. So you guys want to go ahead and roll that?
Introducing the next evolution of online trading, the TD Ameritrade iPad app. Trade stocks, options, futures, and Forex on a single touchscreen platform. Keep up to date on the latest headlines with live streaming news feeds. Find, research, and analyze positions with over 100 technical studies. Set up trade alerts to notify you when to strike, dial in your order, and let your fingers do the trading. Or switch to paper money and test drive your trading strategy against real market data. It's all here in the free iPad app from TD Ameritrade.
Okay. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Takers, any questions? I'm ahead of schedule. Anybody? Come on, you're not that shy, are you? Really? Don't have any plants in the audience?
Yes, there is one here. Excuse me.
Cool.
Regarding the measurements,
Yeah.
did you try any other mechanism to correlate how the app download happened from the ad to the actual usage of the app?
Yeah, we went through a lot of different machinations, which I'd be happy to share with you offline. But this is the one that, 3 or 4 experiments later from that first one that we found to be the best. But as I said before, if you've got ideas or you've maybe solved something or you figured out a way that's better, we'd be happy to hear it. Okay. All right, well, that was easy. Thanks.